Good evening and welcome to online live psychic readings. My name's Veronica Jenkins. I'm your host for this evening. I've got my great friend Rach Kent with us this evening, and she's going to be talking all about her Soul-Hugs and her program called the Rapture Program for meeting the one. But in between times, we're going to be having readings as well. So without further ado, welcome Rachel.
Hi
Rachel.
Everyone. Hi, good to be here. So last time we had a bit of a car crash where there was no audio for about 45 minutes. So it's good to get heard this time.
Okay, Rachel, if you could tell us just a little bit about yourself and your Rapture program, because I know last time it was all very rushed just to squeeze in right at the end.
Hi Lucy, lovely to see you here, Luce and Casey and James. So yes, my name is Rachel Kent, and after a massive long history of all sorts of things, including teaching psychotherapy and more recently coaching, through my own love life and through my own misery story from my 20s through to my 30s, I went through a process that I was able to meet the love of my life. And 26 years later, we are doing really well and very happy. And I got kind of nudged by non-physical in the last few months following quite a serious health diagnosis that I had in February. I got kind of nudged again because I looked at this 10 years ago of creating a program for I was going to say people, but it's actually for single ladies who are looking to meet the one. And so through that process, I've created the Rapture Program, which I'm really happy to answer any questions about tonight. I see that Luce is on, and she's one of my lovely beta people who came on in July onto the Rapture Program. It's fabulous to see you here, Luce. So to start off with, I've got a question for all of you. Oh, bless you, Luce. Highly recommend Rapture. Really helped me, and amazing tools. Thank you, sweetheart. So I've got a question for all of you. Do you think there is only one out there for you? That's one question. And another question, so you can answer whichever one you want. You can just write it in the chat. The other question is, do you have a theory about why you haven't met the one yet? And a hint around that. I mean, there's no right or wrong answer at all, but you know, you might think, do I have a pattern around who I attract, that kind of thing. So yeah, no, says James. Now, which question was that, James? Was that around, do you have a theory around, or do you think there's only one out there? I'm guessing that's that one. Yeah.
I guess
there's no right or wrong answer. Yeah. I have, so that's amazing. So Patrick, you've met your one. And you believe there is only one? Is that a yes or a no? Both questions. So James is a no to, do you have a theory about why you haven't met the one yet? And do you think there's only one out there? So I'll share what where I'm coming from. And I know that there's a massive breadth of what people believe here, you know, what you believe, what your spiritual beliefs are. So I've been working with energetics for a few years, and I have to be honest and say it's taken me years to trust what comes through for me. You know, I've kind of dismissed it as, oh, it's my intuition. Well, I mean, intuition, whatever. But I do get wondrous insight and around what's happening for people, which helps me to tune into what the issue is much better. So where I'm coming from is that we have collaborative souls in non-physical that we kind of team up with. Oh, fair enough, Lucy. That we team up with, and we want to attract them and meet them on Earth. Whether we do or not is another matter, but what the program's designed to do is really help you get in alignment to ready to meet the one. So, for example, there's 3 things that I identified in my own path of going from really crushed, really in despair, shame, not in a good way, in my mid-20s. I went through a process of healing, and there were 3 really important components that are part of the Rapture Programme. And one is letting go of the past, but it's actually, it's not just mindset. A lot of coaching is about mindset. This is about feel set. This is about processing the emotions that get blocked up, but in a safe way. So there's a process for that, and there's doing that together as a group, privately, but as a group. I say hastily because not everyone wants to share what they're processing. Okay, so there's letting go of the past. Another key thing that was really important for me was, I know this is cliche, and I know lots of people cringe, and I'll tell you why you cringe in a minute, but it is oozing self-love. And I'm not talking about kind of self-esteem or narcissistic self-love, like self-importance and I'm better than other people kind of love. I'm talking about absolutely falling in love with yourself. Every cell in your body, every nerve, every hair on your head, everything. And that is easier said than done. If you've been hurt, had all sorts of things happen that that leaves you feeling quite crushed. So how do you do that? That's, you know, part of the program is how to really ramp up the self-love. And when there is a build-up of frustration and anger, how do you process that? You know, what do you do with it? So we've got a sizzle scale in the program that goes from shame at the bottom all the way up to sizzle. And sizzle is actually the energy that I was in when I met my partner. And it, for me, sizzle lasted about 6 weeks. And in between on this scale, we've got things like sorrowful, spiteful even, because we can feel really spiteful when we've been really hurt. And there's not much permission to express that or process that just in everyday life. Anyway, there's all these things going up through self-respect, self-love, up to sizzle. And when you're in sizzle, you're in the best version of yourself when you would really, it's the place you'd want to be when you meet somebody else. And you want them to be top of their game as well and in their best self. So it's a great place to be. So that's, so this oozing self-love helps to get up there. And then the third thing is calling him in. And that's, and if you think about it, if you're in a lower place, would you really want to call him in? Might you be in danger of repeating patterns you've run before that you'd really rather not run? Whereas when you're much, much higher up and really feeling good, really like everything's just juicy and fabulous, that's the place you want to be in to attract his best self too, because he could be getting ready for you. So yeah, so that's the 3 components. Let go of the past, ooze self-love, and calling him in. Okay. I can see lots of messages coming through. So, Ron, have you been able to pick any up to read to? Because I haven't been able to read them all, obviously, while I was talking.
Just arrange. There's a number asking for readings. It may be worth mentioning about the 3 packs of cards, because you've mentioned about oozing self-love, the calling him in, and letting go of the past.
So those 3 components,
it's those that I'm going to be using
to do the readings. Yes, so part of creating Rapture was creating the decks of cards that support it and their bonuses in the program, and they are let go of the past, ooze self-love, and calling him in. So according to where you're at, if you want a reading from Veronica, sorry, my nickname for her is Vron, then just indicate which deck you would like a reading from of those 3. And I've given over to Vron my shuffle decks, which are wonderful because they're like a video version of the deck. So they play and pause at. So here we are. We have calling him in. But we've got all 3 decks. So if you want to indicate which deck you'd like, Veronica will put it up in the middle. Has anyone asked for a deck yet?
So, yeah. Lucy has said, can I have a reading on card? I'm not sure whether there's past I need to let go of or ramping up self-love. Well, let go of the past is what's up at the moment, Lucy. So I'm just going to pause that and trust with the spirit and the world that that's the right card for you. So the card reads, what if I could release all past heartbreak and attract a love that makes my heart sing with absolute joy? So my reading from that for you would be around the fact that it has been a series of heartbreaks in the past for you, and that those heartbreaks are still very much present in your thinking. The good thing is that you're recognizing that they are impacting on your decision making at the moment, and once you recognize that, you can then start to do stuff about it. So when you were questioning about which one it is first, I think it would be bang on to say we need to let go of the past first, learn how to do that, learn how to release those emotions that have been caught up with the pain, and that as Rachel has mentioned about the shame as well within that. And once you've been able to release from that, then you will find that self-love and respect come naturally flowing much easier through for you. So I hope that helps, Lucy. And if people can actually say which deck they want, and I'll read from that deck because I've got to bring the deck up and do the shuffle. Okay, so I hope that helps, Lucy. And Rachel, would you say in terms of your program that would be echoing the work that would be done?
Well, interestingly, we do start with a kind of overview, but then it goes into let go of the past first, and do self-love kind of weaves into the second week, and then calling him in later on. But there's also relationship models in there, because, you know, sometimes you get into dynamics with people and you can't see the wood for the trees. You're like, what am I stuck in? Why am I being triggered all the time? I can't make sense of it. I can't deal with it. Am I with the wrong person? When actually it is past stuff being triggered, and it just needs some understanding, a higher perspective, and a way of responding. And that relationship doesn't necessarily need to be doomed, but some, yeah, they're not great, and we don't want to stay in those patterns. But yes, that is the order, Ron.
Okay. Mel saying, I feel I don't want another relationship after recent events. Now, for me, that would suggest that maybe we're at the point of that self-love and bringing in respect. So Mel, do you want me to do a self-love reading for you? I just need people to put in to the comments whether you want self-love, whether you want to calling him in or letting go. So just one of those 3: self-love, calling him in, letting go. So I know, Tammy, you've asked for a reading, but let me know which one. Mel said yes, please. So let's have that self-love, if I've got the right deck. Yes. And there we are. That's, oh, that hasn't paused. There we are. Obviously wasn't the right card for you, but this should be. What if it was easy for me to let go of self-sabotaging behaviors so I can become the best me? So my reading from that, Mel, is that there are patterns that you've established in your everyday life about who you are, you're thinking about yourself, and you have a fear of actually getting things right. And therefore there's a bit of self-sabotage going on, because you'd stopping, if things went right, then something must be wrong. I know that doesn't sound as though that's right, but there's this feeling that of how this is working, and the sense that I have within me is linking with you, kind of thing. And I'm getting this conflict there between you getting things right, but it doesn't feel right when you get things right. It feels wrong at some level, and therefore this self-sabotage is going on for you. Okay, so what if you could let that go? And what if by letting go you could actually really shine and be that best you? That would be brilliant, wouldn't it? So maybe that's an area of learning, of development for you. Rach, do you want to follow on from that, or should I do another reading?
I want to say something about why these cards aren't affirmation cards, they're aspiration cards. And I just want to say what the difference is. If you have an affirmation card, so if this card here for you, Mel, said, it is easy for me to let go of self-sabotaging. The energy in you, if that isn't true, if that's not your truth, your energy will push against that and say, no, that doesn't feel true for me. Aspiration cards is opening up the possibility. So when you put what if at the beginning of something that sounds like an affirmation, it lessens any resistance inside, because you want to kind of like, well, what if that was true? What if? And it brings hope, and hope is so important in moving up the scale from lower feelings. Now, if you've just been through some kind of, difficult relationship or split up, then energetically you could feel quite low. And so yeah, I totally agree that the self-love one is a really good one for you to really look out for yourself and take care. But yes, but just bear in mind that every single one is what if. So just open up to the possibility of it being true. Allow it to be true.
Okay, and we've also got Jamie McIver asking for a self-love. So let's get these cards shuffling again, and I will... Right, Jamie, what if I practice forgiveness, both for myself and others, to set myself free? Now, Jamie, isn't that interesting that card came up? Because your second comment was about, how do I let go of guilt for my father's passing and not being able to be with him through the rough times? And forgiveness is the route through letting go of guilt. You need to forgive yourself for that concept of what you think you've done wrong. Your father's passing was at his time, and you just weren't there in time. And there's nothing to forgive with that. Your father would recognize that, and in fact does recognize that. And there's no blame being put on you. There's no shame being put on you. I would actually, what I'm sensing with this is there something else that actually you feel guilty about around the relationship with your father that is being put on to that not getting there in time? Because that in itself is not an issue. So is there something else going on around guilt, around that for you? And therefore, is there something else that really need to be looking at in terms of that forgiveness? Now, it might take some digging at and talking through, but I would suggest going through that process and thinking around, well, is there something else? Because actually that just not being there at the end, it actually hasn't made a difference for your dad. Yes, it would have been nice for you to be there to say your final goodbyes, but he hasn't gone forever. So there were never final goodbyes. Your father's in spirit, you know he's around you. You've had plenty of messages. I know I've been on a few of the lives when you've had messages from mediums to say that your father is fine with that. So please do accept that. Do accept that that is from your father, okay? And look to that forgiveness, because you can practice that forgiveness for yourself, and you can move on, which will let yourself free. Okay, Rachel, again, do you have anything that you want to add to that?
What came to me was what really helped me when my mum died, and I felt some guilt around her suffering and that I couldn't look after her enough, and etc. And one of the most beautiful things that happened after she died was I had a soul hug with her, which is where the name has come from, soul hugs. So it's like I had a sense of my own soul, which runs from the pineal gland here down to the bottom of what most people would call the root chakra. And at first I imagined her soul, and then I merged souls with her, and it was beautiful because the personality is out the way. The personality with all the emotions that holds, regret and all that sort of thing was just out the way, and it was just beautiful. And you can start by just using imagination energy, just imagining it, and then allow it to be a thing as a way in.
That's lovely. Thank you, Rachel. Okay, Nicola Ann is saying calling him in. So we'll bring those cards up on screen, and let's see what card decides to come up. Okay, Nicola Ann, for you, what if the universe has orchestrated a beautiful love story meant only for you and your perfect match? Isn't that lovely? So this is very, very much giving hope for you, and that everything that has happened so far in your life, especially the heartaches and especially the difficulties, because that has created the person that you are now. Okay, and what happens if both of you have been through those different circumstances and all the rest of it, just to get to the point where you both are, and at that point you both meet? Wouldn't that be perfect? Absolutely perfect for you. Okay, so that's what I'm feeling with this card, that you are actually waiting for that point. Now, I can't give you a time scale on that. I'm not sensing that, and it might be that there's some finishing off kind of thing on your story or on his story before you get to that point together. Okay, but that's a very positive card leading forward for you, Nicola Ann. So Rachel, again, shall I pass over to you?
Just to say that my sort of advice is, when people are using the calling him in deck, starting at a place of hope is really important to allow whatever's on the card. So that what you said at the beginning, Veronica, around hope, I thought, yeah, spot on, because I always recommend I wouldn't draw a card unless you've got some hope. So if you're feeling lower than that, I would go to the other two decks, for what you need. So yeah, love that.
Okay, Tammy has asked from the same deck, so let's shuffle those cards again. And okay, what if I manifest an extraordinary love with a man who lights up my world?
Yummy.
Absolutely. But what I get a sense with this, Tammy, is in the past, that lights up your world has been a little bit of a candle. And you're looking for the sun. Yeah. My guess is you would recognize those in the past, Tammy, of being very much that little candle in the wind kind of thing. It sort of lights you up a bit, but it's not permanent. It's not, and they can blow hot and cold, and it just wasn't right, but you stuck with it a few times beyond when perhaps you should have. Where this one is saying, no, girl, you are really, really worth that sun that totally lights up your world. Okay, you're worth it. And that's what you should be aiming for. Rachel?
Yeah, no, I actually don't have anything to add to that.
Okay.
But I just love to light up the world and bigger than a candle. Yeah.
Okay. James, sorry, we're not working with spirit tonight. Just the psychic cards. I do have my spirit guides with me. I'm sending to see them here, but they're just giving me advice on the cards. Okay. Let's see who else has said. Nicola Ann has said self-love. So let's go back to that set. There we are, and let's pause on that. Oh, right, Nicola Ann. What if I release the need for approval from others before I fully approve of myself? Nicola Ann, I'm going to take a stab here that the sense I'm getting with this is a very strong mother figure behind you. Okay. That I'm not saying that she's necessarily in spirit or not, but she played a large part in how you perceived approval for yourself, that you really needed her approval before you felt it was okay within yourself. Okay. And this card's very much saying you don't need the approval of anybody else. As long as it feels right for you, it's your gut, it's your spirit, it's your life. The approval needs to come from you. If it's approval from someone else, they're just approving the reflection of themselves in you. Shall I say that again? Somebody else's approval is only their reflection of their approving themselves in you. Okay. So it's not about you. When somebody approves of you, it's not actually about you. It's them recognizing that there's something you've done that they approve of in themselves. Okay. So you concentrate on your self-love. And Nicholas said, yeah, mum is in spirit. And yeah, focus on yourself, focus on your spirit, focus on your journey and whether it is right for you. And when it's right, you know it's right because you feel like, oh, this is brilliant. Yeah. So go with your gut, go with you. Rachel?
Nicola, if
Anything
you can
else to add, Rach?
Yeah, if you can bear to do this, give it a go. In the mirror is look yourself in the eye, and from the bottom of your heart, from your soul, say, "I really fully approve of you," and even a stronger word than that. I really love you, really love you. When I've done that from time to time, when I've needed a bit of a boost, it just makes me cry, but it's good crying. It's like, oh, yeah.
Okay, Mickey Patel has said self-love.
Oh, hi, Mickey. Sorry, I know Mickey. Hi, Mickey.
So we'll stay with this deck and we'll give them a shuffle. Okay. So, Mickey, what if I choose to see the beauty within me and celebrate it every day? Now, for me, Mickey, this suggests that actually you have got quite a way through your journey, haven't you? But there's days that you slip back and you just need that reminder to, yes, it's okay, and we're going to approve and we're going to celebrate that actually we are an incredible loving person. All right, our spirit is just shining, and do that every day and just feel the love because you felt it, you've achieved that point, but at times you feel as though, oh, is this slipping back a bit? So it's just a push with that. And Rachel, I'm just going to switch the light on because I'm conscious it's getting a bit dark in here. Well, if you want to then add anything to that.
Yeah, fabulous to see you, Mickey. And I know you have been through a massive kind of evolving process. So, but like all of us, yeah, we can always feel like we've gone back. And and 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and God forbid 2 steps back, 1 step forward. But yeah, so celebrate every day. What a beautiful being you are.
Okay, we've got a couple of people who've just joined us, so I just need to go through the packs again. There's 3 different packs, and if you put in the comment which pack that you would like, I'll do your reading from that pack. The packs automatically shuffle on screen, and I just click when I feel it's right to do that. Okay, and there's Mickey's response to that. Lovely, Mickey, thank you. So the packs are self-love, letting go, and calling him in. Okay, so if you would like a reading from me based on any of those 3, it's self-love, letting go, and calling him in. And let's see who's next. Okay, I think I missed somebody before. No, I think we're up to date unless there's a new one coming. Calling him in, Leia. Right, calling him in. I think it's this pack. Yes. And there we are. So, Leia, what if my ideal man sees the beauty in my scars and helps me heal from past wounds? That so much reminds me of the Chinese bowls, where any broken bowl is then sealed back up again, but it's sealed up with gold. And it's very much about the principle of the scars that we bear are actually part of our journey, part of us, and can change who we are, but fundamentally make us much more beautiful, much more understanding, our souls much more complete. Well, souls are complete anyway, but you know what I mean, in this journey. Okay, so when we're calling somebody in, we'll look with this card, it's about people appreciating their own scars, but actually appreciating the scars in other people as well. That we're not just looking for somebody who's whole and complete, but who's whole and complete now in their hearts from their past pains. Nobody comes to us a plain sheet of paper, do they? They come with marks on, with experiences, and all of those things create who we are. And if we want people to accept us, scars and all, we need to accept others, scars and all, and accept that that has been part of their journey. So when we match our ideal man and ideal woman, it's about appreciating the scars in each other and the scars of our own. Okay, so look out for the one, but look out for him with those scars, that he understands the scars that you've got, because he's got very similar ones. Rachel?
Yeah, I think it's really good to get this card because it reminds us that we're not absolutely perfect. Like getting to the top of the scale, getting to sizzle and healing from the most of our past wounds doesn't mean a kind of false reality of perfection, because we are human. We're absolutely human with human emotions. So yeah, it's good to remember that we're, but you still want a higher kind of level, best self guy with best self you coming together, and then you've got way more chance of being able to be kind for each other's past wounds.
That's lovely. Right, thank you. Nettie, you've asked for self-love, so I'll just bring this other deck up, let it have a shuffle. And Nettie, what if I practice forgiveness, both myself and others, to set myself free. Isn't that interesting? We've already had that card tonight. But I feel that this is very different for you, Nettie. Okay? That there is something in your past with a past relationship where you haven't been able to forgive them yet. Okay? And because you haven't been able to forgive them, you haven't forgiven yourself, and you're finding it very difficult to move on and to feel that self-love. Okay? There is very much a need for that self-acceptance and for that self-love, because forgiveness is very difficult to give when we don't forgive ourselves. And it's not to say that we're the ones at fault, but we need to forgive ourselves for the guilt that we feel that we even got into that situation in the first place. Okay? And the shame that we feel that we've let people down, such as our families, because they've supported us, and all of those other emotions around that situation. And letting go of those emotions, letting go of the shame, the guilt, and the fact that you feel that that person needs to forgive you. It doesn't matter what they do. Honestly, they're out of your life now. It does not matter whether they, whether they ask for forgiveness or not, because it's not about them. It's about how you feel. And if you can release that from the past at some point, maybe not now, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not in the next 10 years, but at some point you will be able to forgive them. Okay? And it's not because they've asked for forgiveness, but you've released all of that emotion that is tied up with that situation that hurt you so badly. Okay? And once you've forgiven yourself, then you will find it's so much easier to forgive others. Rachel?
Yeah, so one way of doing this, yes, yeah, so one way of doing this is if you ask yourself to go back to a memory where you needed to forgive yourself or someone else, and ask, I don't know if you have a relationship, Nettie, with your higher self, but or guidance from somewhere, but if you ask, where do I need to go, what memory do I need to go to for forgiveness for myself or the other, and then ask for a higher perspective. And when you get the higher perspective, it's so much easier to forgive yourself and or the other, because it's like, oh, I get it now. That's why that happened. And it brings in what's missing when we're kind of down here and knotted up in something. Yeah, the higher perspective really helps. It's like, oh, that's it. Makes it easier. I hope that makes sense.
And it's also about recognizing happiness in the now, because if you're happy now, then actually whatever's gone before has helped to get you to that happy place now. Okay, so focus on the now as well. Okay, thank you, Nettie. Let's see who else. I thought was another one that had asked. Samantha Hartman. Samantha Hartman has said letting go. Okay, so I think this is the first time we've had this pack tonight. So add to the stage. That's it. Let's shuffle a little bit. Okay. Right. So for you, Samantha, what if I could let go of feelings of shame about the past and give myself permission to receive abundant love, sorry. Writing is very small. They're not on the cards, but what we haven't said is that you can actually buy these digital cards from Rachel. Right, so if you'd like these video sets from Rachel, they're £7 for each set or £15 for the 3 sets, and talk to Rachel about it, and you'll be able to buy these and do these cards yourself, okay? But obviously, if you do the Rapture Program, you get them for free. So, Samantha, letting go of shame about the past. So again, when we're talking about letting go, there's been occasions in the past that you recognize in yourself that you could have done something different, all right? And people were hurt, and it's all, I feel awkward because of that hurt. But what I'm feeling with you, Samantha, is actually that you've had a relationship with somebody in the past that you finished, and you feel guilty about finishing that relationship. But my question to you would you rather be, say, in your 90s or your 80s, still with the fella, and thinking, what would have happened if 40 years ago I'd actually said bye, and the difference of happiness I would have had in my life, because I'm stuck with him, and I've been stuck with him for the last 40 years, and I haven't really been that happy, okay? So don't feel shame, don't feel guilt for ending a relationship, no matter what other people are putting on you about it. Because friends, especially if they're friendly with the ex, family, especially if they're friendly with the ex, will put pressure on at times because they think you're happier, that it's, oh, what was it? It's shame with my dad that passed. Okay. So when we seek forgiveness from people who have passed, because they're still with us, as Rachel's mentioned before, there's these soul hugs where you imagine through your past memories of that person and that essence that you can feel of that person, just call that essence in and talk to them and say what you're feeling, okay? Say what you're sorry for, say what you're asking forgiveness for, and see the emotion. I just know, I can see all these tears being released through that process for you, okay? So spend time with your dad and work through that on a spirit level, okay? And through that, you will have that letting go, okay? Rachel, is there anything that you want to add to that?
Actually, that you could almost have, Samantha, chosen the ooze self-love one, because one of the parts of healing shame is, so my definition of shame is it makes you feel really defective, like in your very essence. It's awful and feels awful to climb out of. I don't know if you're actually meaning what I would call guilt of something you've done or not done around your dad. For like behavior, whereas shame is like, I am in my essence defective, defunct in some way, and it really needs so much self-kindness, self-love and kindness from a real heart friend, as well as what Veronica said. Guilt, yes, yeah. I find it helps me to make that distinction between shame and guilt, because I approach them differently if it's me, if I'm feeling guilty or shame. But shame's just like, there's nothing you can do right. But guilt does trigger shame, inside. And it's like a cancer of the soul, the way shame can feel. It's really powerful, and needs lots of self-love and heart friends who just say, you are freaking scrummy and gorgeous, and I love you to bits. Lots of love there. Yeah. And I'm sending you lots of love, Samantha.
Okay. Now, Terry is obviously I'm going through a bit of crisis emotionally at the moment, dealing with my pain, don't see a future. So I'm feeling that you need a letting go card, okay? And so I'm going to pull you one of these cards there, Terry, okay? What if I could let go of all past relationships and make space for love that's meant for me? Okay. Now, Terry, what I feel with this is that you've been hurt so many times. It's gone like bump, hurt, bump, hurt, bump, hurt, bump. And it's just continued on. And what I'm sensing this is a kind of pattern that the very similar people that you've got involved with, and it's always ended up with you feeling betrayed, that you've been dealt a really bad card as such, and the sense of pain that comes with that. Right, it's losing 4 members of family in 3 years. And that's where this feeling of just bump pain, bump pain, bump pain, okay? And there is a pattern with this. And in terms of as well, that you get to a point where you just about feel as though you're getting over. Do we ever get over passing? But you know what I mean? That you're getting more emotionally on a level keel, and the next one will happen. And the next one will happen. And the next one will happen, okay? And you're actually at the point of feeling frightened of getting yourself a little bit better in case it happens again, okay? When we learn how to deal with the grief, because that's imperative for you now to learn to work through your grief, then you will have learned how to manage and how to deal with that pain in a more constructive way than the past. And it will take quite a bit of doing, because the more pain and the more you're in, the more help you need to get out of that. And quite often at the point that you will need perhaps some more professional help than me as a non-professional. Rachel is a professional. She's done psychotherapy for years, trained psychotherapist. I'm not, okay? I just read tarot cards and do mediumship. But I know from my own personal experience, going through a significant period of depression and anxiety, that there comes a point where you need professional help, okay? And to reach out and to get that professional help to help you through what you're going through. Okay, Rachel, if there's anything else that you feel you would like to add to that?
Yes, it's interesting that you said about professional help, because I was thinking it's not just about the Rapture Programme. I offer one-to-one as well. If somebody needs to process something that's just stuck or overwhelmed by at the moment, it doesn't mean months and months of therapy, because I don't work in that way long term anymore. But it is about getting to what would move the needle for me right now, so I can get unstuck, because I'm a bit overwhelmed with the grief at the moment. So, I'm so sorry, honey. That is just heartbreaking. Bless you. Heartbreaking. Yeah, and others passing you've mentioned as well. 3 others at least. So yeah. So lots of love to you.
So, and I hope you find the help that you need, Terry. Okay. Right. Have we got any more relationship questions? Remember, we've got 3 decks here. We've got self-love, calling him in, and letting go. And just put in the comments about which pack you'd like me to do a reading from, or indeed if you've got any questions of Rachel about her Rapture Program, just ask in the comments and we'll address them. But Jennifer, I'm not doing mediumship readings tonight, I'm afraid. This is very much the readings with the cards about relationships. So it's oh, Bethany, you would like letting go. Right, that's this deck. So let's give them a shuffle. Oh,
At the end.
Yes, we started them. Right, Bethany, what if I could release all resistance to change and allow love to transform my life completely? Right. So that says to me, Bethany, there's times that you like where you're at and you're a bit, I'm not sure I want to go there and change very much, okay? And that you feel safe where you are, but it's not where you want to be, if that makes sense. You want to be somewhere else, but actually the process of getting from where you are to where you want to be seems a bit too challenging at the moment. Now, what I would say for you with this is very much take the bull by the horns, all right? Be brave. Put one foot in front of the other, all right? And through that, build up the confidence of yourself in, yes, you can achieve things, and you can achieve things through change. There's no need to fear change. Change is part of you. It builds you. You become something different through change, and that can be a bit frightening at times, but it can be very exciting as well. Okay, Rachel, do you want to add anything to that?
No, I don't think I do on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got Xian and Jennifer asking to get love readings. Bethany, yes. Choosing love over fear. Okay. If you can just tell me, Jennifer or Xian, what deck you would like me to read from. So it's either self-love, calling him in, or letting go. So which of those three, self-love, calling him in, or letting me go, letting go. Do you want me to read from? And I'll put that deck up on screen and do your reading from there, especially for Xian and Jennifer, who've specifically asked for a love reading, and we'll do it from there. Okay. Maybe are they still here? Hi, Tracy. Tracy Hand. Oh, self-love. Okay, let's add that to the screen and give them a little bit of a shuffle. Right. What if I celebrate my achievements, no matter how small they may seem? Right. Xian, you can be very, very hard on yourself, can't you? You're very hard on yourself. And interestingly, that reflects out because you are so hard on yourself and you don't recognize your own achievements. You emanate this to other people. So when other people, especially men, are around, because you're so self-deprecating and putting yourself down, that's actually having an impact on how people see you. So you really need to look at, well, what if I actually celebrate who I am, what my achievements, however small they are, how would people see me then? Because they would see me much more confident, much more happy within myself. Because let's face it, when we're looking for love, we're looking for somebody who's confident, who's buzzing, and as Rachel has said in her program, sizzling. Okay, those are attractive people in life. We want to be that attractive person. So be that attractive person by celebrating yourself. Okay. Hope that helps. Rachel, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, just say I quite agree with that. About celebrating, no matter how small, what you do, and be proud. Sometimes people, it can hook somebody's shame when they start to feel proud of something, and that has come from the outside. The shaming stuff has come from other people squashing you down. So if that's the case, kind of, it's a bit like going, oh, sod this. Why shouldn't I feel proud of this? You know, I deserve this. This is good. And think, if it was your best friend, would you squash them, or would you be really chuffed with them? Sometimes it helps to be one step removed and think, well, if I was my best friend, I'd be saying, you got this, girl. You really got this. Well done. That's fantastic. And coming from that place. So yeah, lots of love.
Oh, back again.
It froze a bit for me there.
Sorry, my whole signal went out there. Yeah, the whole thing just froze for me. Okay, right. We're coming up to time.
Yeah.
Jennifer's asked for one last one, so we'll do this last one for Jennifer. And it's calling him in. Okay. So, what if my ideal man walks into my life today, bringing love and joy? Okay. So, this is you being ready for the love of your life. Okay. And just being prepared. But he could be there today. Are you ready for him, though? Have you done everything to be at the point that you are ready to accept another person into your life, to love so deeply that you want to spend the rest of your life with that person? Are you ready for that person? Because if you're not, then get ready. Okay, Rachel?
I just, mine would be to ask you a question. When you read that card, do you feel fear inside or excitement? And physiologically, fear and excitement are very similar. It's just that excitement is fear plus joy, or plus good feeling. And fear is just fear, like the thing that we hold ourselves back with. So yeah, it's like, how can you get yourself to excitement with that, which is moving towards sizzle energy. So.
Okay. And just while Jennifer answers that, we just need to pull things to a close now. So if once again I can mention that the cards that we've been using tonight, excitement, is that wonderful? You ready?
Lovely.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good energy.
Any day then, any day. Right. The cards that we've been using are video cards, and it's a 32-second video of packs of cards that scroll around, and when you're using them, you just click pause and reflect on the card that it brings up for you. Okay, if you would like one of those video card packs, one pack is £7, all 3 packs, and the 3 packs are Ooze Self-Love, Calling Him In, and Letting Go. And that's £15. And contact Rachel through her page, Soul-Hugs with Rachel. All right. And if you go to Soul-Hugs with Rachel, you can message her through there and get in touch about either the cards or the Rapture Program, which takes you emotionally through the steps to get you ready for the one. Rachel, is there anything?
Yeah, absolutely. The Rapture Program is 4 weeks and it starts in October, but the date isn't set yet. So just so you know, it's 4 weeks with some live sessions with me and videos each week on those themes and more. Okay, over and out.
Brilliant. Thank you ever so much. Those who are interested in readings, we've got Transmediumship with Nico in 1 hour at 9 o'clock. So I've got a quick break now. And then I'm back on screen with Nico at 9 o'clock. And then tomorrow we've got a full day of reading starting at 12 o'clock. With Christine. We've then got Sheila at 3:30. We've got Lainey Bain with Crystal Animals at 5. We've got Healing at 6. We've got Debbie Romano at 7. And we've got Larkin at 9. So a full day of readings for you tomorrow and 9 o'clock tonight. Obviously, all those times are British summertime, UK time. If you're not in the UK, please go on to Time Buddy or Google or whatever to find the time variations for there. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Rachel. Brilliant night. Love doing those readings from those cards. And we'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Love everyone. Bye. Bye.